All right, so 50. I am 50, and given that I'm 50, I will be 50 actually February 5th, so I will say that I'm 50 right now. 50 is when you finally either come to terms with the demons that the system trained for you to use to do your job, to survive, to build the infrastructure, and then you are either going to choose to die with your demons or push them out and reinvent yourself. That's what 50 is. And I'm in the prime time of my life where I had to face those demons the last 30 years. Or I'd say 20 years. The last 20 years I had to face my demons. And so Adam and Eve is the ignorance, the innocence, and the insolence, which is the story of mankind when they become aware of the shame of what they were taught when they were children, when they were teenagers, when they were adults, when they gave their life to the system between 1 and 30, and then from 30 and on, the body starts realizing that it didn't have to be in that specific social construct, biophysical construct, and the body starts trying to push out those demons that the system developed within you between 1 and 30. And so right now we have children who are going to have to feed the demons, feed themselves. They can't afford to be food intolerant. They're going to have to deal with whatever they have to deal with when they grow up. And in this environment, things are going to happen faster. What do you mean happen faster? The body is going to realize that there are demons within, and it's going to want to push them out. And does that child and that adult, do they have what it takes to feed the demons and release them and survive that energy conversion? And so, when you finally wake up to the shame of what you were forced into this society, the extreme sexual orientation, all the different social constructs to make you accept what your lifestyle is. And that could be around family or no family, aggressive sexual orientation, aggressive pursuance of staying cured, paradise and pleasure, whatever it is. I mean, you finally wake up from all of that. You realize that really it's the brain that needs to be cultivated so it can adapt to this environment, so the body can adapt to this environment. And so, my gosh. I started late today because my husband's home until he just had to load for 5 hours. But it's time to see what the system planned for us. Okay, that's why I'm saying that when you're 50 years old, that's a turning point. Men have their midlife crisis. People get their cancer and disease, and chronic illness and autoimmune disorders even before that. But it's discovering the shame of what you were taught. That's why I'm saying, Asian women, you do not have to be that sex symbol anymore. Caucasian women, you don't have to keep up with the Asian women trying to be skinny. You can eat that hamburger. Virtual or visual prostitutes copy Hollywood by tempting you with their beauty and sexuality. That was taught to you at an early age, that's how you get people in your world, is you tempt them with sexuality and, drugs and alcohol and parties and sex and all that stuff. And so then that's where people get taken down notch by notch. And so Adam and Eve discovered the Antichrist, right? When they ate from the tree of good and evil. And so when you're cured, it's like ignorance. And then what happens with climate change, you become uncured, and then it's trying to push out that demon. And some do not survive that dance. That's what cancer, disease, and chronic illness is that demon finally uh, rearing its ugly head and resisting the body trying to push it out. That's what pain is. Pain is the body trying to push out the demons that people keep resisting and they keep cultivating. And so when I said virtual or visual prostitutes copy Hollywood by tempting you with their beauty and sexuality, with the with it poses, hoping to gain market share. You know, that's the thing. I'm not a Puritan, okay? But when you try to copy the modeling industry, what kind of chaos are you inviting into your body, mind, and spirit? And so that's the thing is people are trying to copy the modeling industry, the spiritual industry, by trying to tame their demons, even cultivate more demons within their body because they're using remedies, surgeries, and hypnosis, and even chants to go and conjure them up. I mean, when you think about all the Reiki people and all the people that are playing with your chakras, they're playing with your demons, making them stronger within you. And then people don't survive their own demons because people are playing with them through the alchemy, through the therapies, through all the herbal remedies. And so when I was watching some of these people out on Facebook saying, oh yeah, the body can heal itself. We just gotta, I'm like, yeah, the body can only heal itself when it gets all the food in the food supply and you're releasing those demons and not using antibiotics or probiotics or energy healing bullshit. That's the thing, is that the body needs you to understand your upper immune system and your lower immune system. It needs to figure out how to pull out those demons that will eventually destroy you. So simply just saying the body can heal itself is not a complete thought. The body needs meat, milk, cheese, eggs, fruits, veggies, carbs, sugars, and minerals. The body cannot heal itself when people are starving and saying that all food is poison. And so if you are so out of balance with being so overly protected or not protected enough, the food or your starvation methods will not make things better, only worse. And so most people will not do what I have done as far as releasing the demons in their lower cavities. And I do not turn to antibiotics or probiotics or any kind of detoxes or anything in the medical holistic energy healing world. I just eat food and I know how to leverage the pressure in my upper and lower immune system so I can release that demon and keep taking on evolution, new information. I don't try to hypnotize the demons within. I don't try to keep them at bay. I feed them, I respect them, and I release them. That's how you're going to survive. But see, with kids, they have to cultivate that demon. They have to feed that demon. They can't release that demon yet. They haven't earned the right to. When you get to be mature enough and you have the weight on you, that gives you the leverage to be able to have a conversation with those demons and say, hey, this is only a temporary home. This wasn't something you're going to be in forever. The system gave you my body, right? When you think about people who finally reach 18, 19 and they have weight on them and they have that conversation with those demons within and they're like, yeah, the system gave you my body as a temple to use for their intentions, whether it's in sciences, the engineering industry, sports, whatever. And then you're going to have a conversation that either that demon's going to stay in the body and destroy you, because it will, or you're going to have to find a way to push it out, and you have to arm yourself with the arsenal and the strength to push out those demons. And sometimes they're children. Ooh. Sometimes they're cancer, disease, chronic illness, autoimmune disorders. Sometimes they're mental issues. How do you tell people that they have to have a conversation with their own demons to figure out how they're going to see who is the one that's going to take over your body, your mind, and your spirit? And if you allow the demons to take over, you won't survive. And so that's why I said virtual or visual prostitution copy Hollywood by tempting you with their beauty and sexuality and with it poses. I am not a Puritan, but when you try to copy the modeling industry, what kind of chaos are you inviting into your body, mind, and spirit? What kind of chaos? Because then you'll be starving yourself. You'll be throwing out signs, playing with chakras, using all the different licensed therapies and therapists that are going to go and play with your demons, play with everything. And you're not going to know any better. You're going to give your body to strangers. And then this is where people lack shame, because they're taught to give their body away to strangers. They're taught for someone to go in invasively. They're taught for someone to teach them how to play with their demons, not release them, but play with them and starve them as in the, if you starve your demons, those demons are going to eat you and destroy you. And so I don't even think some Hollywood stars know what they are doing when they are throwing up hand gestures and signs, much less some housewife or mommy and me group chair trying to seem credible. I know I sound like some character in the Scarlet Letter during the Jamestown era of the witch hunts. I know I sound like I'm a Puritan. Sometimes I even say, oh, I'm a little puritanical. Well, that's to let the demons know when you think about it, right? When I say I'm a little puritanical, that I'm not playing those games. I know games now, what's going on out there. I know manipulation. I know all the slick salesman tricks of everything. Sometimes you just have to let those things play out. But I have 50 years of knowledge being around people in all of the different manipulations out there. And I recognize every single fucking tactic out there. And so I know I sound like some character in the Scarlet Letter during the Jamestown era of witch hunts. But in all reality, what people do not know, the system made the darkness and people so aggressive. The group mentality is what actually makes the microbe stronger and deadlier. It comes out in alternative mainstream traditions. And again, I'm not religious, but I see and know and have witnessed and felt the allegory we all have been exposed to. The darkness is formidable, but too much light blinds and cures and hypnotizes, and too much darkness blinds you. Okay, so people are like, oh yeah, go see the light, go vibrate at a higher frequency. When you have chicks out there who are all into the energy healing stuff, and they're all about vibrating at a higher frequency, you're blinding not only yourself, but you're blinding your audience. Because what does that actually mean? Do they have the capacity to vibrate at a higher frequency? You could be causing them to supernova. But then you're like, well, let's go into the darkness, and you have the goths and the Satanists, right? Whatever that means. Then they're causing so much darkness in people they can't even see. And so who are you to say that they should go towards the light or become so dark? And so it's really a conversation each person must have with themselves on their own fucking demons. And it's not for something anyone out there to go and try to wrangle your demons or go and try to put darkness over your demons. It's not for anyone out there to do. I don't play with people's demons. I don't go and remedy their demons. I don't go and play, oh, hey, let's go be all light and love and all that shit. No, it's not for me to go and play with your demons. I'm just showing you that the demons are the microbes, the mycoplasma, the things that are the opposing forces that you have to figure out how to balance, the light and the dark within you. And nobody can do that for you. Nobody can remedy away the light and dark. Nobody can give you so much light. If they do give you so much light, they could be blinding you and causing then a premature supernova. And just like when someone tries to hamper the light with darkness, using remedies, using operations, because that's doing damage to yourself. I mean, who is that? I mean, that's the thing. People have to figure out how they want to deal with the darkness within. But I do not recommend anyone to put so much light on the subject or put so much darkness. That's a personal conversation. And if you don't have the capacity to have that conversation with your own demons, you will go and follow anyone that sells you a good story, that will tempt you. There's tricksters out there, demonologists, and they are in the therapies world. Demonologists are in the energy healing world. Demonologists want to play with your chakras. They want to find a way to get in. That's why I have a lot of measures not allowing people to get in too much. Because once they get in, how are you going to get them out when they overstay their welcome? And when you allow so many people in your world because you can't handle your demons, whether it's friends and family and therapies and energy healing people and gurus and people that promise you wealth, yeah, once they get in, it's hard to kick them out. Then you become addicted. And then they destroy you from the inside. And so Asian women, you do not have to be the sex symbol anymore. You do not have to play that part anymore. You are more than just your skin. I see Asian women using their brain to sell their skin to everyone. It doesn't have to be. Caucasian women can finally eat that hamburger and stop trying to compete with Asian women. These fetishes of sexual prowess and sexuality are deadly. Okay? However, if you're going to carry more weight to you, it must be balanced, and carrying yourself bigger or smaller will not work in the long run. If men and women must have starving sexual women, you know what she'll be used for, and then thrown away when she's used up. In my opinion, women are still enslaved. And it will be many, many, many years in the future before she even sets herself free from those expectations. And so I just keep representing the world I want to live in. In my world, women are set free and they can still be feminine without having to use her assets to manipulate people into buying her or her trinkets or her philosophy. She doesn't have to promise them that love and light. She doesn't have to promise them, here, I have a remedy. She doesn't have to promise them sexuality. She doesn't have to promise them that, that you'll have peace and meditation. You see how women sell that from themselves. They sell peace and meditation. Well, who are you to sell that to other people? What's your intention? It's vampirism, right? She and many women, she and her man, woman, if one must have a partner, work together like equals, using each other's strengths and weaknesses to survive. And if one has a desire to learn something new, that they balance out their social, family responsibilities and their duties while pursuing knowledge and gifts. Okay? And so if you're on your own, you got it fucking made. If you can actually survive on your own and work and take care of your bills and also release those demons and eat food, you have it made. Okay? You bring anyone into the mix trying to take away your pain and suffering and loneliness, it's like you're letting the demons in to go in and figure out how to capitalize on that situation. People who are lonely and needy out there, people who need someone to remedy away and give them peace and meditation, they're leaving themselves open. People who need family and friends, leave themselves open. And then the demons get in and they don't ever want to leave. Trying to kick out the demons of your household, your life, your body, your mind, and spirit is a struggle. It's a major struggle. That's called disease. And when you have to deal with that kind of disease in your world, it's hard you may not even survive it. That's how aggressive some of these demons are once they get in. Because once they get in, they found a home. Once they get in, they found a home. And so, yeah. What is the Asian fetish history? Western men deployed overseas saw Asian women as more physically attractive, innocent, and sexually superior to white women. In the 1800s, after opening of Japan by Matthew Perry, interesting, word began to spread in the United States about the seductive femininity of Asian women. And that's wow. And so, yeah, Asian women have been stereotyped to be sexually appealing as well as smart. You'll figure my background. And so Adam and Eve could be out there frolicking with each other, not knowing the consequences of their actions until they get wind of major disease that casts them out of the Garden of Eden. So there's one side of Adam and Eve where it's just like innocent, and then they ate from the tree of knowledge, and they're all like, oh gosh, we're naked. And then they have to leave because they violate God's law of eating from the tree of knowledge, being tempted by the snake. But when you think about now in this environment with people out there that are all about tantric sex and having so many sexual partners and showing their assets out there and selling you peace and meditation and love and empathy and everything else, then you figure out that Adam and Eve could be out there frolicking with each other, not knowing the consequences of their actions, playing with people and their microbes until they get wind of that major disease that casts them out of the Garden of Eden called death. There's that side of it too. When we have adults who think that what they're doing is completely okay. Yeah, it is, because the system made it okay. The system normalized you playing with all of your chakras and your kundalini and all of your pressure points to the point of ecstasy and whatever. And they wanted you to show your assets to people. They want you to go on OnlyFans and Instagram. They want you to sell all of your meditation and remedies and yoga poses and body parts. They want you to do all that, because once it's normalized and you'll do it, you won't think anything of it because everyone else is doing it, until someone says, hold on, wait a second, the emperor has no clothes. Maybe there should be a little bit of shame in what you're doing. Maybe you shouldn't do what you're doing. Not because you're bad or wrong, it's because the system wanted you to act out things that then later on they could hold against you later, when you finally wake up to what the fuck's going on out there. Adam and Eve, completely ignorant to actions and consequences. And then the shame when they finally realize what they have done to their friends, their family, their children, their audience. When you finally reconsider your lifestyle and belief system and you are facing the devil and the demon, that's also Adam and Eve. And so you see these people out there in these groups. They're all about playing with each other's chakras, putting their hands on you, putting their hands in you. Strangers telling you how to do stuff to yourself. And it's normalized out there because the system made everyone so aggressively sexual that sometimes they're predatory. And so then they have to go and pull back. They're like, okay, well, we don't want you to do that to somebody else. So here, we'll tell you how to do it to yourself. Okay. And then there goes the freaking train. It left the station. Because once people figure out how to do it to themselves, they want to bring people around there to do it to each other. And then here you go. Now you're down a road that's hard to come back from. The addiction to the hormones and the pleasures and the paradise is what caused our society to go off the freaking deep end and to become extremely predatory and, of course, full of disease and people's demons all over the place. You can't even tell the difference between demons and angels because we've developed so many demons within people, and they're playing with each other on the internet. And so awareness is when Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden. Some people will not be able to survive the shame of becoming more awake than not. Some people on the Epstein list and those victims are facing those demons today. Remember Weinstein? Brand didn't realize that he thought that everything that he did was okay. He was allowed to act out his programming. And then now, within the last few months, the system is now using what he did that he was taught against him. You see how that works? When you're taught one way and you're taught as a child and even as an adult, oh, just do this, you're okay, do whatever. We'll allow you to do whatever. Go do it. And then when you come to find out people have been victimizing people through the remedies, through all the recommendations, through all the oh yes, it's all about meditation and playing with all your chakras and doing this and that. And people's demons are becoming more extravagant, more aggressive. And you find out that you had a hand in making people's demons stronger and more aggressive and even deadlier because of all the recommendations you've done. Maybe you'll never find out that actually was wrong because you'll die with those demons. You'll die with those ideologies. That it was okay. And your kids will then be a reflection of you. Your kids will repeat the same thing and even probably much worse when they're given the opportunity. And so that's why some names have been redacted on the Epstein list, right? Some people on the Epstein list and those victims are facing those demons. And that's why some names have been redacted, because it's not their time yet. The system is not ready to destroy them. You're watching people get cast out of the Garden of Eden and of fame and fortune because now the public became aware of their actions. How do you live down aggressive sexuality against people you shouldn't? How do you? Now look at your world and what you thought was right. And again, you're watching all these gurus out there say to everybody, oh yeah, I'm all about peace and love and this and that. And they are deteriorating, aging out. They're rotting away on the inside, and they're telling you how to be peace and love and meditation. But that's the thing. They'll never really know that because they're deteriorating. You can't tell them anything, and you can't tell their followers who are going over the cliff either. But when you finally wake up to the world that you live in, it's not as benevolent as you think it is. Then you will look at the shame of what you have contributed in that world. And believe me, I have. I recommended remedies to people. I definitely did all those things. I had, I got married to someone I probably didn't know very well, but hey, this is what came out of it, the J world. So I faced the shame of what I've contributed into the world, wanting to be some guru, some leader. And no, that's how the system fucking gets you. And that's how the system uses you to destroy other people. Because you think that you know better for somebody else. And then that's where they follow people over the cliff. And again, that's the intention of the system, that you never become awake to that. And so you destroy the people around you. And you'll never feel shame, because the system will destroy you before you feel that shame. Because once you feel that shame, then you realize you have a choice now. You don't have to play that part of some guru, some savior. Now look at your world, or what you thought was right. Can you look at your world? Can you reconsider your lifestyle and belief system? Sexual identity was the shame built into people. And then all the psychology around it, the family, the fame, the fortune, the drugs, and the alcohol. Can you face what you've done to yourself and your family? If you can't, the shame is just too much. Wow. Facing your own history is the demon in of itself. Imagine those in Burning Man 30 years from now looking at the pictures, looking at what they thought, what they put out there for the public to see. How do you get past that? People don't. They die from the shame. I'm just glad the internet was not around in my 20s and 30s. Can you imagine San Francisco? I went to the clubs. I had fun. The rave clubs and the dance clubs. I can face the shame of whatever I've done in my past. Okay, some people have kids from that situation. I don't. I have the J world. I have a husband who has been evolving with me, and it was a fight. But when it's recorded for the world to see, like you're seeing on Facebook and Instagram and OnlyFans, even mothers put their daughters out there on Front Street for the world to see. Putting them in outfits that are like, are you serious? We will be the lessons of the future. Wow. That's why these young girls out there don't stand a chance with Instagram, OnlyFans, and Facebook Reels. And then the mothers become their madams. And some of these mothers have no shame. The train left the station. I just hope some parents out there will cultivate their children's brains and not their bodies. And I don't know how you'll do that. And if you're not in a religion, forget it. If you're in a religion, forget it. It will always be about the family, Madonna whore syndrome. Now watch your Facebook, everybody. All of us are lessons to each other, and it will be recorded. It is recorded. And so the story of Adam and Eve is when you finally become aware of the world you live in and the shame, because you were programmed to be something shameful. When you finally become aware. See, that's what I'm saying. Ignorance is bliss. And you're seeing these people act like they're little gods and gurus. Little goddesses and saviors and satans, right? Some people will defend what they need to be shameful of. But people develop a religion around it, and so they justify it. Religion, when you can't face the shame of your actions. You can't face the shame of your consequences. Absolution. Sexuality is exactly the thing people develop religions around. Family, war, and disease. Oh, and spiritual healing. Here, let me touch your chakras and your kundalini. One day people will actually want to use their brain and evolve. Obviously, we're not there yet. Africa still has to go through their sexual revolution. I just want you to see the playbook. So watch the West or yourself, and please observe Africa. Sexual revolutions and sexual identities are the depopulation agendas. And of course, all the religions around it, and the spiritual healing market, and all the spices and the herbs and the extracts and the detoxes. And then everybody doing the whole, kumbaya. Yeah. The drum circles, the ayahuasca. Shame is also an MK Ultra tool of destruction. Youth is when you learn the shameful behaviors to be used as a leverage later on for someone else to control you. So they say, yes, you must do it, but no, you must not do it. That's the hypocrisy. That's the Madonna whore. You should do it, but not now. Do it later. And so these poor kids that are going to enter into society, and they learn things earlier and earlier. And that's why you have the single mom syndrome. That's why you have people with 50 million kids. That's why people are dying from diseases and aging quicker, because those microbes, because of the mixing of everything, turn against the person. People don't know how to manage a life in their body. They can't even manage a life out there. And so we have families out there who don't even realize what's going on. And they're turning to all these different types of belief systems and spiritual things to manage their demons, as the demons are destroying them from the inside. And people are making it worse by not reconsidering that maybe what they did before, what they were taught in their childhood and their adulthood, was probably the reason why there was a lot of cancer, disease, chronic illness, HIV, and all the different offshoots of diseases. And of course, why we have 1 billion kids out there who can't handle their society. Yeah, they have the demon within them, and they're not allowed to release it. They're being starved of food. No one is saying, hey, we should pull back on all this crazy sexuality. Why do you think, why should our kids be having children? Why are we promoting this? I mean, what's the deal? And so youth is when you learn the shameful behaviors be used as leverage later on for someone else to control you. When parents never learn from their shameful behaviors, their children are like mirrors. Vampires do not like mirrors or reflections. It's time for people to get smart very quickly or die from the shame. And what is shame? A painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. She or he was hot with shame. Humiliate, mortification, chagrin, ignominy, loss of face, shamefacedness, embarrassment, indignity. Because when you see people like, oh yeah, women should be free and do whatever. We shouldn't be controlled by a man. All women should control their sexuality and go out and do whatever she wants and have 300 people or go take part in all these orgies. And so when society is like, yeah, go ahead and do that, it's okay. So they act it out because everyone says, hey, it's okay. We don't want to be controlled by the man. And then they do it and it's all over the internet. And then when society changes, time to chill out. You're going to kill yourself when you have so many microbes eating you out from the inside. And then you look back and you're like, people can't look at what they've done. It's out there. They've put it out there. And that's how society is going to fall. Because all those microbes and these people who are not releasing the demons and pulling back and saying, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have fallen into those manipulations. That it's okay just to go and take on all this stuff. Because before it was okay. I didn't know any better. See, how do people save face? They don't, because they don't want to ever look at maybe, they fell into the wrong crowd. They fell into crazy ass desires. A lot of millennials are stuck in that situation. Whether it's their 1 million partners they had or taking part in orgies, or they have 5 billion kids. And when you're taking part in orgies and have a bunch of kids, how do you face that? How do you face what you've done? You can't. You hate anyone like me who says, hey, wait, should we have done this? People will die in their shame. Monkey and exhibits do not know the shame of their urges. Kind of like Facebook, OnlyFans, Instagram. Imagine the people laughing at the monkeys doing it, and the monkeys see nothing wrong with it. People can say the jelly juice world should be full of shame. Oh, absolutely. We had to face the demons of what the system implanted in us to finally make choices and save ourselves. Yeah, we had to look at the what's coming out in our shit. Absolutely. Oh, believe me, I don't love the fact that that's where you have to reset your body, is pulling out the crap. But now it's not, for me, it's not shameful. Others, it might be. But that's how I saved myself. So then what neutralizes that shame of having to deal with pulling out your crap is the fact that you're going to save yourself from not being eaten alive from the inside out. But again, if you think that shame is not saving yourself and not shame is destroying yourself, then that's exactly what the system wants you to do. They want you to destroy yourself by being too sensitive around what the shame of saving yourself is. I can put my face out there and talk about everything and acknowledge the programming we all are under. Some of us can fix it and acknowledge mistakes made, as others will just die from shame, never looking at their own reflections. Shame is the tool of control. Awareness does not let the shame destroy you or your family. But one must acknowledge their own shame, or else will target others until they die in their own shaming, lack of awareness, and lack of self-reflection. Most will die in the shame of their own obliviousness. I suppose it will be entertaining, because you'll see it all over the movies, because these young actors are acting out the things, exchanging spit with strangers, probably have a lot of different partners, having a bunch of kids, going through the plastic surgery and all the Botox and having to look sexual so they can make the money, working long hours a day as actresses and actors, and maybe have to do certain types of remedies and therapies to keep them going, and so they can keep raking in the money for themselves and their studios. So we'll watch that in the actors on Netflix. We'll watch our friends and family act out their proclivities. And so all you can do is just sit back and watch, and yeah, eat your popcorn, because what else are you going to do? Watch your friends out there pretend they're gurus and goddesses as they are deteriorating and rotting from the inside out. Adam and Eve became the Antichrist when they finally became aware of the shame from frolicking without shame in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve became the Antichrist when they finally became aware of the shame from frolicking without shame in the Garden of Eden. So you look out there all over Facebook on the articles, the Instagram, the OnlyFans, the girls that are proud they have 300 partners in 1 year, and they're still going strong. They lack shame in the areas that you're like, holy shit. You really want your daughters and sons to be doing that kind of stuff? And then they make it okay by, oh yeah, I'm now a guru Gaia, and I'll do all this meditation and do yoga, and I'll have a bunch of children to legitimize myself. That's what you see in some of these girls that were kind of like that. They were like all about screwing everybody, okay? And then when they're done with that wild side of them, then they have a kid. And that kid made them legit. And she still has the demons within eating her out from the inside, and then she'll die without ever really looking at, should she have been programmed that way? But that was how her family made money. That was how the daughters was used to make money for the family, for the label. Yeah. Some pretty crazy stuff out there. Awareness takes major clarity of thought. Even when you think you are aware, you have a long way to go. And so when you have the knowledge of good and evil, you can program what is good and evil based upon the intention of that time period. And again, shame was a tool of control, so you can program people in any way you want. So again, you tell your kids, don't have sex, don't do this, abstinence is best, and whatever, right? But then they're watching all these images of people doing it all the time. They're watching their mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers are out there dating people aren't really focusing on the brain because they're all about the body and sexuality, and they're being programmed by not only the gurus out there, they're playing with their chakras and kundalini, but also Hollywood and their parents and their friends. That's what I'm saying. Some of these girls don't have a chance because they are so influenced by their peers and by the movies and by Facebook and Instagram and OnlyFans. And so it's going to take not only a strong parent, but a strong child to resist the crazy ass temptations of destruction that is everywhere in their society. And I don't know how you're going to do that. And you don't want to turn them into some, Puritan that is then saying, oh gosh, you are, the spawn of Satan, because you see those in the religious folk. They're all about their family, and they're telling the people over there, like in Burning Man, that they're the spawn of Satan, and they have 1 billion kids, and they're all about wives and extra wives and divorce and children, and they're saying, oh yeah, they're spawn of Satan. No, you want to have a kid that understands what people are going through, and they're aware of their own issues and things they have to release and what they have to do to make sure they don't get caught up in that, and they're pursuing knowledge. And they are aware of what's going on out there, and their parents are aware. And even the parents may have to show them, this is what happens when you end up pursuing those bodily pleasures. You might have a billion kids, or you might have some kind of cancer or disease or chronic illness, or you might end up like this. And there's plenty of evidence to show where people will end up when they go down all these different roads. So it's going to take a really amazing parent to understand all the roads from the choices and show these kids. They'll make their choices. You can't always save them. And some people are too far gone. The demons within them are so extravagantly strong that they can't fight against them. They'll succumb to them. And then you tried. But if they're allowed to release the demons by blowing their nose and coughing and sneezing and pooping when they need to, and you're not treating all their diseases, and if you can get away with that, and they're eating all food, and they're feeding their brain things that are going to make them better in our society and marketable as far as, academics and what they can contribute, writing and mathematics and physics and biology, they might be able to escape some of the outcomes that some of these people are out there who are dealing with cancer, disease, chronic illness, or becoming some guru to go save people from whatever. Tempting people with their body, mind, spirit, to buy whatever trinkets they have. In ancient Greece, throwing an apple to a woman was considered a token of love and marriage proposal. If she caught the apple, the proposal was accepted. And so, when somebody is pointing out to you that they want you as their sex slave on some level, because that's what usually gets people together. It's not like, oh, well, you have this, skill, and I have this skill, and I'm lacking this skill, and you have a car, but I don't have a car. You don't see people itemize out what they're missing as far as in their finances, what they're missing as far as their skill sets. No, it's all about sexuality. It's lust. Because who's going to put out their finances for somebody? When you're lacking a car and that person has a car, you really think that person want to get together with you because you don't have a car and they do? No, it's getting caught up in the hormone chemistry of feeding off each other. And then, maybe finances come later, but not necessarily. And so what happens when equals get together? It's lust. It's not about merge. It might be merging finance, but no, it's lust. Can you screw that person for longer than, a couple years? They're not taking into account 7 years. People change. That's called the 7-year itch. And then if you force it and you have a bunch of kids, now you're together for 14 years, maybe you have 3 or 4 kids, and then people don't survive because they've been depleted, they've been used up. And so, in my opinion, I think people should get married based upon their finances and what they're looking for, who they're willing to support. Well, why would they want to support you? Why would you want to support them and do their finances and be their accountant? Why would they want to give you a car? See, that's the thing. We don't think that way. It's lust. Back then in the 50s, they were doing blood tests because they wanted you to have a kid. So you do blood tests, you get together. She comes from a good family. He comes from a good family. He has a nice job. She's respectable. They have the matching blood types or the appropriate blood types to have a child so that there's no complication. That was the 1950s. That was a baby boomer situation. Okay? Now, anybody can go get married. And they can have conflicting bloodlines. And then they're spawning the Satan. What are they? They're spawning the demon children that will work against them. That's kind of what's going on. So the apple was the beginning of the end of the Garden of Eden. And so there's this article that says more teens who use marijuana are suffering from psychosis. Yeah, absolutely. It's not only self-medicating, but also, they got into a habit with their friends, and now that marijuana is eating away at their brain. On both ends, teens self-medicating instead of facing demons, compounding the issues. We all came into this world messed up. The system capitalized on our strengths and weaknesses, developed that demon within us, and then we had to go and fight that demon. As an adult, how will you face your demons? Some won't. And so I did an AI image of those demons. And I said, using allegory, mycoplasma are the opposing forces causing death, destruction, and incapacitation. They are the demons within which give a person power through managed resistance. That's what the medical holistic system is. It's managed resistance, but now they're making their demons. See, the medical holistic system makes the demons in people stronger until they don't survive the medical holistic energy healing world. However, as a child until 50, the demons are in control as the system trained your demons to be what they need to be. Then one day the demon starts losing their power, and you, the person, is trying to push out that demon called pain. But that demon is resistant. So it tells you to take remedies and drugs until the system either must do a cesarean or push that demon out, or surgery, cancer, right? During climate change, these demons are on the move and they do not want to leave. Then it's a civil war. That is why everyone is dealing with pain and suffering right now and in conflict. Everyone is dealing with their demons. Even the government must deal with their own demons in the population. Bloody wars. That's why you need to eat all food, because one day you will need to strengthen, the strength to release those demons. Which is why children must deal with their demons, eat all food, and feed their demons and feed themselves. And then one day they must face those demons within. I just hope they're strong enough to survive their own demons. And with these food allergies these kids have, and with all their different intolerances, these kids are not equipped to deal with the demons that are on the move. And that's why some of them die sadly. And so Adam and Eve, relative to social constructs, Adam and Eve are like children. They must be taught shame when eating from the tree of knowledge. That's the positive side, right? But everything is relative. Then the negative side, Adam and Eve, adults learning shame when they finally eat the rest of the apple plucked from the tree of knowledge. So the conspiracy world is like eating the rest of the apple. They ate part of the apple and they become aware of certain things. Then they eat the rest of the apple and they're like, oh my God, there's so much more. Well, no shit. Good and evil is a social construct. So atheists and God-fearing folks act out the same programming of developing and training their demons, but the words are what set them apart. Both are in civil war with themselves and each other. Could the child prodigies out there survive their purpose after the system uses their resources? Their blood types would be the determining factors, as well as lifestyle changes. I would like to know all the blood types of these child prodigies out there, because I can bet you if they're blood type A and B, they're going to have a hard time surviving after they've been used up. If they're blood type O, are they being starved of food so they can utilize their resources as the system trains their dragon? I don't know. Remember Britney Spears, though she's an A negative or A positive, I forget. So demonology, they're within you. So I posted sudden health problems at the age of after 50. Heart attack, that's a demon. The body trying to push that demon out through the blood vessels. Osteoporosis, you're losing calcium, you're losing minerals out of your bones that the demon's utilizing all your resources. Acute pancreatitis, yeah, your pancreas, the insulin, the sugars and everything else that regulates all your different hormones. Yeah, that demon is eating you out from the inside, causing so much destruction. Aneurysm, the demon is in your brain. People are trying to push that demon through their immune system and they get blood vessels bursting. They get an aneurysm. Gallstones, so much of those minerals and deposits blocking up the gallbladders. Bladder stones, gallstones, high cholesterol, people are not releasing because they're trapping the demon within with all the remedies and their surgeries and all the things that they have done to stop the pain. Kidney stones, same thing. Gallstones, kidney stones. Bladder stones, same thing, guys. Osteoarthritis. Then when I'm feeling the pain in my arms and my joints because the body is moving all that stuff through from the growth, yeah, people get osteoarthritis. They have constant pain because they're not releasing those demons. They're holding them inside. The body's trying to push them out the body and it gets stuck in the body. People don't release the demons, so it goes right back in the body. The body has to go deal with it again. It's like when you're forced to go to school and the demons are attacking you, and you're forced to go to school and the demons are attacking you, or you're at home and people are letting in the demons all the time. You have roommates and they're bringing in people you don't like, and you're forced to deal with those demons. And so as they're coming in and torturing you, you're trying to push them out. They're torturing you to come back in. They're torturing you, and you can't get them out because they're the demons that overstay their welcome. Yeah, that's osteoarthritis, stroke, when the body is then half paralyzed. So they go through an energy conversion trying to push out the demon, push it to the next level, and the person doesn't survive it, and then half the body loses the nutrients and loses the oxygen, and then half the body dies, and that's why you get the drooping factor on one side of the body or the other. Vertigo. I felt it when I've felt so much growth in a high frequency environment. Do health problems start at 50? See, 50, the Hayflick limit, when the cells have 50 times to redouble itself. Because remember, particles Particles can redevelop itself every 7 years. Every single particle, every 7 years, you're not the same person. So after 50, people start breaking down astronomically, because then collectively, all the particles in the body that are cured, and the person isn't releasing the demons, and they're not taking on new particles, then the body's trying to push out that demon, and the people are in resistance, and that's called disease. And so after 50, some minor health problems, such as dull aches and pains that you could previously ignore, might become more of an issue. And so those aches and pains tell you that you need to release that demon. The body is trying to push them out, but then people ignore it, and they go take their remedies and do all their different surgeries, and the demon becomes more aggressive. And then, And so why is my body falling apart at 50? Demons on the move. You start to lose muscle at a faster rate, right? The demons are using up all that stuff. Your body is using up so many resources to try to push it out. People resist it. Resistance is futile. It causes breakage. Demons destroying infrastructure. Adults over age 65 are more likely to encounter disease related to aging, such as Alzheimer's disease, more advanced chronic conditions such as diabetes and heart disease. They are also more likely to suffer from multiple conditions and may have mobility issues that impede access to care. Yeah, the demons are destroying you from the inside. They're breaking you down. People are rotting from the inside. And so demons accelerate feeding on you when your body shape changes naturally as you age. And then usually after the age of 30 is when things start breaking down. And that's when I noticed the demon within me, that PMDD, during those times. Oh my God. The demonology is when decades of the 50s, when you start breaking down, the decades of your 50s. And so, and then around 30, it's the age we notice the demons within. And it was around 30. Gosh, what was it? It was 1999 when I noticed the demons started coming up for me. What was it? 1999, yeah. Minus 1974 equals, 1999 minus 1974 is about 25 years old, almost 30. And that's when things started breaking down. And that's when I noticed that I was going to be dealing with some bullshit for the rest of my life until I released that demon. Yeah. People don't know. Oh, they'll find out. You replace every particle in your body every 7 years. You are literally not the same person you were 7 years ago. I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago. I'm actually different. And then urgent warning for anyone who drinks bottled water, nanoparticles. I release the demons, so nanoparticles do not concern me. Other people's microbes do not concern me. When I see somebody going like, oh yeah, my oils and extracts are so much better than those things that are inside the V's, the aborted baby cells, whatever, right? What if both make the demons more aggressive? They do. And so what is your intention when you're doing remedies and therapies? You're making that demon inside of you stronger because you have a shitty release process. And so what is Adam and Eve? They are the ignorance, the innocence, and the insolence. Okay? And so, yeah. So anyways, that's all I'm going to say today. But I want you to understand that this world was made so they can build the infrastructure and evolve society. And they had to use people's offspring. So all your children and us were used as a tool. All of us were. Now it's time to take back our life and release that demon and actually redefine who we are. And I'm telling you, sexuality is not on my plate. I'm in still the old world too, because I'm married to a husband that's really in the old world. But one day, sexuality will not be on your plate. It won't even be anything that you're going to want to really entertain. Now, you might want to entertain companionship, someone to hang out with. But when someone's in your space, you better be either on the same page and have complete respect. And that's hard to break people in. It's very hard to break new people in the old world. I wouldn't even want to, because this information that I have is not mainstream at all. So you try to break somebody in that's out there in the old world, you might be bringing in a demon. You don't want to deal with that. So in my world, when things do change, I'm not breaking anyone new in, because you never know what the kind of shit you're going to be entertaining. And I'm not trying to entertain and invite demons into my world. Okay? And so, yeah. So what is this? Who is this person? Oh. Ebola. Yeah. Disease X is literally scaring the hell out of me. And I said Ebola. Someone was laughing. Oh yeah. Ebola is basically COVID on major steroids. That's what Ebola is. And we're all incubating some form of it. It just hasn't been awakened yet. It hasn't woke up yet. But just wait. Those that are playing with people's demons, make them all stronger and more diverse. Tell people how to go play with their chakras. Using more remedies and all the other stuff. Yeah, you're making those demons inside people stronger and formidable. But hey, that was what you're taught, and you're not willing to look at anything, and you're basically an Adam and Eve, completely ignorant to the situation. And you may not survive waking up. And when you do finally wake up, it'll be your life flash before your eyes. And then done. So whatever. All right, I'm going to go. Bye.